that year and a half when it went from theatres like the Apollo and the Town and Country Club, we did one arena in Sheffield and then we went straight to stadiums, fucking football stadiums. And I remember, you know, our promoters, they always used to come to me first, thinking of putting you lot on that main road. Whereabouts? What do you mean whereabouts? Well, where? In the state? What? On the pitch? Yeah, in the stadium. Well, how many is that hold? Well, 60,000. Think we'll sell it out? Well, you'll do 2 nights. You know, it's a good job I've got a lot of trust in these people and still do, like my management and my promoters. So I'm like, look, if you think we can do it, you know, do it. You know, we'd only signed off about fucking year before we were walking out in the football stadium that I'd grown up in. I mean, they were really, really, really great gigs. The Knebworth one, because it was the biggest. But those main road shows, that's it. That's what Oasis was at that time. You know, it's where I'd seen Pink Floyd in '88, and I'd seen Guns N' Roses and the Rolling Stones, and then I was playing there. We were playing there. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Final preparations are being made for the arrival of 250,000 rock fans at Knebworth in Hertfordshire for one of the biggest ever open-air concerts in Britain. 2 million people tried to get tickets, many to see the band of the moment, Oasis.
Of course, the one thing that no amount of hype can guarantee is the weather. And if it rains this weekend like it did today, Hertfordshire could be treated to the sight of 250,000 Oasis fans completely drenched to their rock and roll bones. Meeting Oasis is a little like going to see the Queen these days, except for all the swearing, of course. You don't get to stand anywhere near the great stars, let alone interview them. Instead, the media just stand back and listen to their words of wisdom. Today's photo call was to publicise the 2 Oasis concerts this weekend at Knebworth Park, the biggest music event in Britain this decade, we're promised. The figures speak for themselves. £5 million worth of tickets sold, 50 miles of cables laid, and enough logistical problems to keep everybody busy.
We've got to get 125,000 people into this greenfield site off the edge of the A1 motorway. We've got to get them out again Saturday night, back in again Sunday morning and out again Sunday night, and that is a considerable difficulty.
It has been spoken about. I mean, it's like after this gig, what are we going to do next? And you can't do anything but do the biggest gigs, so we can't play anywhere bigger than this. I mean, the only other thing would be to come back and like do a residency at Knebworth or something, play every night of the week from 8 till 11 or something like that, but we're not going to do that.
Fucking hell. They're quite an adjustment to make because, like I say, we went from theatres where we're all playing here and then we walked out on the main road. Fucking Bonehead's a different postcode. You know, Liam was over there somewhere. We're like, why? You know, we're so far apart. And those are the adjustments you've got to make, where you were playing on a tiny, small stage and your sound is filling the room, you know, it's shaking the floor. And then you're on a fucking massive stage, which in itself is the size of a football pitch. You know, you've got monitors and it's all posh and you can hear yourself for the first time and you're like, oh, fucking hell, about that. But we powered through, you know, did the best we could. Now, the thing about being now is, I'd say the lesson I learned from it is when you shouldn't be making a record, don't fucking make a record. We should have let Morning Glory land after Knebworth, and that American tour that came just after Knebworth that ended in a fucking disaster and ruined us effectively in America. Instead of coming back to England and all going our separate ways, we decided to go into the studio with a load of songs that weren't good enough for the first 2 records. And we're trying to make it sound important with strings and all that kind of thing. I don't like it as a record, but I loved it at the time. But it's when we got out on tour, and this is what I mean about letting Morning Glory land and kind of, you know, do its thing and let the ripples of that just fade away. It was still a massive record when we went out with the Here Now. And all the gigs we were doing, most of the people at the gigs had still never seen us. So they'd never seen us do Morning Glory. Far less fucking Definitely Maybe. So you'd get all these really energetic punk pop songs of Definitely Maybe. And then all these iconic songs of Morning Glory. And then these songs of Be Here Now where people would go, Be over in 7.5 minutes, this one. I'm going to tell you. Instantly, to me, was like, oh, these songs are not working. And no matter what we did on that tour, we could never fucking make it work. We started off doing too many, and then we weren't doing enough of them. And this is a massive but, as much as I don't like that period musically, that was the best time I think Oasis ever had out on the road. It was fucking amazing. It was work, and it was hard work, but we had such a fucking laugh. I mean, when the film is made of that tour, which inevitably it will be, that was when the chaos went up 10 notches. It was mental. I mean, it was fucking brilliant. It was a good fun. It was a good laugh. Initially, the first sessions, took place in here, and we got asked to leave because we were playing it back extremely loud, and I mean extremely loud. And someone was doing a fucking Swedish classical album across the hallway, and took offence to it. We was just like, look, should we just fucking can't be arsed with this. There was press outside 24 hours a day. And we were in here one night. It was the year the MTV Awards were in London, and we'd won everything. We had won everything that there is to win, right? And we sat in here listening to the Beatles, and we're drinking and fucking having a laugh, I don't think we were recording, we were just partying. And someone was like, well, we're supposed to be somewhere tonight. It's like, I don't know. When were we going out though, weren't we? I don't know. It's like there's a fleet of cars in the fucking driveway waiting for us. I don't know. We forgot to go to the fucking, like the limos turned up, and we were like, give us an hour. We forgot to go. If you watch the footage back, right, there's 5 empty seats on the front row for every award that's called out. And they'd obviously rehearsed the camera angles, and these cameras come swooping in. There's fucking empty seats. And Alan McGee had to go and collect all the awards for us, right? And he was on the phone going, where are you? I'm playing the fucking piano in Abbey Road. And he's like, I've fucking been there on my own. I forgot. We completely forgot. Yeah, that's just one night in like 2 years of just absolute fucking madness. But like, brilliant though. Really good. Enjoyed it. Loved it.